I'm trying to fix my place,
Okay, good afternoon, Vikram ji. Vikram,
Good
Dr.
evening.
Vikram
Good
Dutt has
evening from
joined.
India.
Yeah, good evening, good evening. He's our one of the guest of honor. So all people, most of the people know him there in New Delhi. Okay, we have another senior, one of my senior marine engineers, Yogesh Bahadur. He's also joined. Who am I missing out? Yes, Dr. Bhakti Majumdar. Yeah, Dr. Bhakti Majumdar joins from Scotland in Aberdeen. So it's like a good international group we are having here. All have the same sort of a thought, and we have another lady joining, Meghna Tripathi from Singapore, and slowly. Okay, so Kiran,
Hey,
are you
Dada.
there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Give me 2 minutes. I've just entered home. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, okay, no problem, no
settling
problem.
in.
Take your time.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so we slowly we are starting this session. The sixth webinar for the UK. The UK Sarthak is just about a year old, very young, and we are striving to get our recognitions and do a good work in the United Kingdom for all the people who are differently able. So, respected guests, Dr. Jitender Agarwal, our founder CEO, Sri Vikram Dutt, our guest of honor today, all panelists, guest speakers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really overwhelmed to be a small part of the Sarthak family and honored to be a moderator of this webinar today. I'm thankful to Sarthak, who has made me the UK director to contribute to the best of my ability for the differently abled children and adults in this country and worldwide. An individual's disability can play a major role in his or her life, but overcoming the challenges and developing confidence is the vital, and that is where I want to assist and support with my team. We must allow people with disabilities to experience a life they deserve. Okay, in these developed countries, they are much more developed, but still, in some countries and some areas, they do not get what they should get. Disability awareness provides vast opportunities for everyone to get involved in creating a positive, inclusive society for all. Today's theme we have is joy of giving. It would be great to hear for all our like-minded guests here their views of joy of giving. Now, I'm here today in Sarthak is only because that I get the joy of giving when I give somebody something, whatever it is, whether it is effort, whether it is a help, whether it is money, I get that sort of a pleasure in me, which is bigger than if you give me a car as a present. It's bigger than that. So, firstly, I would request our founder and our chairperson, Dr. Jitender Agarwal, who himself was a differently able person. He will tell you, and he started this magical organization which has given all the differently able people so many jobs and help and I just have my full regards and respect for him, and God bless him for what he's done, and we are just following your footsteps. So may I request Dr. Agarwal to say a few words about himself and about a little bit how we have started this journey. Over to you, Dr. Agarwal.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Majumdar ji, our UK director, and thank you everyone for joining us. A special thanks to Vijay Jain ji, who visited, I think last month to Delhi. Then we have Bhakti Majumdar ji, then Srinivas ji from Singapore, then Rajesh ji and Sandeep Bhargava ji from Delhi, and all other people who joined us. And special thanks to Vikram Dutt ji for joining us as a guest of honor in today's webinar. So maybe I'll brief you like, I think most of you know that we started in 2008, and now in 14 years of our journey, when we talk about India, we number of people with disability are more than 100 million. So it's a huge population in India, but little bit of effort of Sarthak has outreach around 10 million people with disability in last 14, 15 years, and empowered means economically empowered 0.1 million people with disability. So it's like a small journey that we have started, but the whole idea of starting Sarthak was to outreach each disabled person. And in last 14 years now, we are trying hard to partner with NGOs in the rural geography so that we can outreach to each disabled people. There are 500 such non-profit organizations with whom we are working, and the whole idea is to outreach each disabled person. And in that series, we are creating a global resource center in Gurugram. We got a land from state of Haryana. So it will be first of its kind in India. And it will be having, it's going to serve people, all people with disability, with all disabilities, all services. And there will be attitudinal accessibility for concept will be there called Vision in the Dark. So entire facility will be there to serve people with all disability. Coming to the UK chapter, as mentioned by Majumdarji, that we started last year, and the whole idea of starting UK chapter was to create awareness about people with disability in India, as well as supporting people with disability in UK. And we are in a process now. And with God grace, next year we are planning to visit to UK because we have an event. Because under Sarthak, we also run another organization called National Olympics Association of India. You might have heard about Olympics and Paralympics, but these Olympics are skill competitions that happens internationally. So there is an international event in France next year in the month of March, and our 14 of our people with disability from India are participating in those international competitions. So during that, we'll visit UK, and hopefully we have planned an event on 19th March. So we request all of you to please join us during that event in UK. I think Majumdar ji and Vijay ji and other colleagues are planning an event there. So we will surely plan a conference and that musical performance what Majumdar ji was telling. So I'll thank all of you. And as mentioned by today's theme is joy of giving. I think it's really joy when you giving because generally we in early age, maybe when we are in 40s and 50s, we talk about job satisfaction, but ultimate satisfaction is our life satisfaction, and that comes when we start giving to others and serving others. As far as myself is concerned, whenever any disabled person is getting a job and he's coming with his parents and so happy, so that joy is unbelievable. You can't buy that joy. So I can share that if you start serving others, serving human beings, I think that joy is unbelievable, and I think that leads to your life satisfaction. So once again, I'd like to thank all of you who joined us and taking this journey forward in UK. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agarwal, because your speeches are always so inspirational, so that we learn from you. And I'm trying to follow exactly what you did 14 years back here in the United Kingdom. I hope, with God's grace, we'll be successful. And I see people coming up with the similar sort of a thought mindset, and so we will definitely take your dreams up here in the United Kingdom. Now we shall introduce our guest of honor today, who is Professor Vikram Dutt. Now he has a long association with inclusive and vocational education, especially employment oriented. As a civil servant, he wrote the first draft of Right to Education Act at that time, and he is currently the chairman of the All India Federation of the Deaf. I welcome him to this webinar, and thank you, sir, for taking your time and joining us. Although I know that you are not well, and a few words from you will be a great for us to listen. So kindly, I would request Professor Datta to come and say a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Devashish. And I take this occasion to reconnect with Jitender, whom I think I am catching up with after almost 5-6 years. I also thank your senior in the Marine Services and my junior in school, our common friend Yogesh, for putting us all together. I love the topic, joy of giving, because if we were to encapsulate what an NGO really does, especially NGOs for people with disabilities and the underprivileged, it creates an avenue to enable people to indulge themselves by participating in the joy of giving. I have been privileged that after my disability, I'm spinal injured. I got disabled 46 years ago. So I was part of the team that established the Indian Spinal Injury Center. And the joy of the governments of Italy and the specialists from USA who associated themselves officially through the government of India in this project is amazing. It still carries on till this day. With USA, for instance, we were associated in a 3-year project called Inspire, which was Indian Spinal Injury Center, NIDER. NIDER is National Institute for Disability Rehabilitation and Research, Government of USA, Spinal Injury Research. So that's Inspire. And that created new benchmarks for what constitutes being functional again. In USA and even in your country, when I worked with the Spinal Injuries Association, they consider that a person has to be totally independent, and why not? But there are certain physical limitations, which in India, the participation in a positive manner of family and people around you makes it possible. So we developed a term called functional ability. The Americans were amazed by it because there, even if you're spinally injured, nobody will help to even cook. So you have to have everything. So they have remote controls and mechanized devices. But the joy of giving comes in India when families get together and support each other. Yesterday, I was in a conversation somewhere. It was on fundraising, and they said it's very difficult to get even $1 out of a multimillionaire, but a poor person often gives money. And that is where we come in with the joy of giving. So if we take the 4 benchmark disabilities, one is, of course, speech and hearing, which we call the All India Federation of the Deaf, of which I'm privileged to be the chairman. So we create opportunities for person with hearing impairment to get integrated into an inclusive education and therefore into an inclusive society. So nowadays, computers is the new wizard. And with the use of computers, we train them in computers. We've just in the process of setting up a new training setup with 30 desktops and with all sorts of different things to enable the hearing impaired to get ahead in life. Earlier to this, I had also been executive director of the All India Confederation of the Blind, where we have run very, very successful computer programs for the blind. For instance, last year, our top trainee was taken up for a salary by Indian terms, 36 lakhs a year by a Canadian firm. 5 of our graduates got into Indian banks as probation officers, and several others got fairly good jobs. So the way we were able to convince prospective employers, which is the most important, how do we convince a prospective employer? By showing them that the joy of giving jobs and security to people with disability actually enables them to have better HR possibilities. The reason for that is very simple. Suppose there is a person with a disability and they get a job. They make an effort not to shift. They always make it because they have to make so many adjustments, especially in India, where public transport is poor, other support services are poor. So if a person with a disability gets a good job, they tend to plan their life around continuing in that job. And that gives the HR departments of all the companies they work in a lot of satisfaction. For instance, we just had a international conference on 24th and 25th of September in IIT Roorkee. And there were some outstanding hearing impaired people. One of them had been the manager of the State Bank there for 22 years. The bank authorities refused to transfer him out because they said he's so good that all our customers want him. So the joy of giving is a beautiful synonymous phrase for the good work being done by the NGOs. So compliments to Sarthak. Jitender has now taken over the National Olympics. Jitender, if you permit me, I will explain a little more about Olympics.
Please, sir.
You have all heard about Paralympics. Paralympics is held during the Olympic Games for those who are people with disabilities. So from paralyzed came Paralympics, or from paraplegic came Paralympics. Many years ago, when we established Olympics in India, so it was the third or the fifth International Olympics that we held in India. And our organizing committee is the one that has now handed over charge to Sarthak, and all the best to Jitender Bhai for his marvelous efforts. So Olympics actually stands for Ability Olympics. And when we held it 20 years ago, when Vajpayee ji was Prime Minister in India, that is the link to it, because the government supported this effort. What we told them is, look at the joy it will give people, because these were skills that people were being tested in: computer skills, jewelry skills, gold melting skills, jewelry design, cake design. There were 42 such disciplines. I don't know how many there are now. I've been a little out of touch. And at that time, that started the entire exercise, that those who were winners in the Olympics would automatically qualify to be actually certificate and diploma holders from the ITIs, the Industrial Training Institutes. Many of our people with disabilities were unable to go through formal training classes. So the joy in their families, in us who were able to start it, in people like Jitender who took it over and are now running it so successfully, but more than anything else, in the employers who said, we have got gems of people as our employees. Of course, not every employee is excellent, whether you're able-bodied or you're not. Some employees will always do some mischief. That's only to prove the rule. But the fact remains that with proper training, with proper education, with proper guidance, and with proper understanding of the sensitivity and the needs of people with disabilities, the joy of giving is the ultimate. Thank you, Sarthak. Thank you, Jitender. Thank you, Debashish. And I must thank Yogesh for putting me with this group together again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What a wonderful speech, and it really gave us the examples which you gave for joy of giving is really good. I came through the same thing. I'm into the shipping fraternity, and in one position when I was heading the UK ship register, I was only dealing with millionaires and billionaires who are the ship owners. And as you rightly said, a billion and millionaire is difficult for them to get even 10 pounds, and whereas a not so rich can easily give you 100 pounds without even thinking, that sort of a thing. So that is what is.
Can I interrupt for 1 second, Debashish, with your permission?
Yes,
I
please.
especially want to compliment your group for having such a wonderful sign language interpreter with you. This is something that is usually overlooked.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much. And in Delhi now, for the whole of India, as Jitender would know, we are making great efforts to have the Indian sign language absolutely understood by everybody and spread all over. Because the sign language is for each language. So can you imagine how difficult it is in India?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Have a standardized braille. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we call upon our next speaker, who is the president of Lions Club in London, and he's Mr. Vijay Jain, and he's one of our UK advisory board members, and so he's my big support in the UK, and he's also enabled to give Sarthak UK £500 donation from the Lions Club. So thank you, sir. And he's so passionate. He's such a busy man. He's in Zagreb in Croatia at the moment, but he still took out the time for his Lions conference and joining us. I'm overwhelmed, and thank you, Vijay ji, for being here. Over to you. Let us. I know you met, and let us hear from you a little bit and about the joy of giving. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Devashish. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm audible. Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Agarwal
Thank you, sir.
and Mr. Dutt. And I can see some more faces which are from Marine Fraternity. I see Rajesh Ranjan. Devashish, you forgot he's also an ex-David boy. So
Yes. There are many. There is Srinivas Patnaik. There is.
I'm working on a small iPad, so I don't have all the faces. But
Okay.
it's very nice. You have got all the marine people, Because we marine people generally we are kept out for most of the activities, but I think we have our heart also in the same kind of activities. So just to introduce myself, I'm a marine engineer, of course, a bit senior to Devashish, almost 78-year-old, living in London for the last 35 years. And I'm quite involved in many NGOs. Of course, Lions Club is my first love. I've been in the Lions Club for the last 30 years. I've been president of 2 or 3 clubs. Last year, I started a new club called St. John's Road, which has got all the young people of 35 years age, 35, 40 years of age. Besides that, of course, whenever I hear, so I'm also involved with the Institute of Marine Engineers India. And we have started a UK chapter for that, for which I am president. And that's where I met Devashish. Of course, I know Devashish by name. He is a marine engineer, but he became actively involved because he's the treasurer of our UK group and I'm the president. And we meet quite often. So when he visited London a few months back, rather 6 months back, I invited him to my Lions Club meeting, and he came very enthusiastically. He introduced Sarthak to me, and I was very highly impressed. When I saw the Sarthak was working for disabled, not children, but almost young people, and giving their jobs and giving them opportunity to learn, I felt very, very nice about it. And I straight away, I said, yes, we want to get involved. And my club, it's a very new club of young people, we already started giving donations to Sarthak, and we had decided to give full support to Sarthak UK, and we'll do whatever we can do for Sarthak. As about talking about giving, yes, giving is a joy, it's right. So since I went into business in 79 in India, and from very first day I got involved in service, service organizations. I was a member of Roundtable. I don't know if anybody have heard of it. It is young groups where people up to 40, they can join. It's like Lions and Rotaries, etc. only. We do work for charities, etc. We were involved with sponsoring for children, etc. I had sponsored from very young age 2 children in Bombay who got the high school done, etc. So I like to give, of course, but as you say rightly, it's very difficult to take out money from rich people than take out from the middle class people, because few years back when I was in Lions Club, first time I took a bucket and started collecting money on the street for Diabetes UK. It was very, very good experience, standing on Oxford Street, busy, in London's most busy street, in front of a big department store, standing with a bucket and see people passing by and putting money in a bucket. And I saw people who were well dressed, etc. They just ignored or just gave a grin towards me and walked out. While people is not so very well dressed, or I could make out they are not so well off. They took out the money, they came back, they turned back, they took out whatever money they had. One person said, sorry, sir, I got only 25 pence. I said, but this is almost like 25 pounds to me. And he put it. So this is quite right. It is very difficult for money to give, but it is a joy. You see the small smile on the face of those person who gave me 25 cents or pence. He has such a nice smile on his face. I took his picture and I put it in my magazine. And so it's very good. So joy of giving is always good there. I will only say as much as whatever Shagra, we can do in UK for Sarthak UK, I will do it. I'm willing to help in everything what you want me to do. I will support Majumdar and anybody else who is there. And that's what I am there for. So thank you very much for your time, for my time.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you, thank you, thank you, Vijay ji. It is amazing that living in a conference in Croatia, you still joined us and gave us your few sort of overview. I know you have to go back to the conference, but thank you very much for coming.
It's okay. I'll go back for dinner now. You know, I think I take it off from them now.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. And let me tell you, he's one of the kings of London. He's got a massive house, and the way he lives, he's really good. I've been to his house, and thank you very much for your hospitality and all the donations you've given. So okay. Now we move on to our next guest. He's Mr. Dean Coombs. Mr. Dean Coombs is the head of the HPP group in the UK. He's a person who is doing a wonderful job of training in the mental health sector in the United Kingdom. Me and as Sarthak as a team, we are getting associated with his training camps and really looking forward to work with him with disabled children and adults and in the near future. So, so Dean, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So good to go. So now you will hear from Dean what he does at the moment and what he is doing and how we can go ahead joining hands with Sarthak. Over to you, Dean. Introduce yourself and.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks to Debasis and for Sarthak for this opportunity to speak. My name is Dean Coombs. I'm based in the UK in Wales, in the city of Cardiff. And my role at the moment is helping people with their anxiety and confidence levels. So in life, confidence is a key ingredient that you need to do tasks well and to do your job well and all sorts of other things. And yeah, the joy of giving for me is helping someone achieve something they thought they couldn't achieve. I'm currently working with 3 male adults at the moment, and there's a big problem in our community with anxiety and people worrying so much they turn into alcohol and drugs and things like this to manage their mental health and to manage their anxiety levels. But over the last 3 to 6 months, we've been able to sit them down and teach them control techniques and things like that, so how to control their negative thinking and things like this. And we've had some wonderful results where some of these lads have come back to us and they said they've actually found a job, they've found a flat to live in. One person has set up his own painting and decorating business. So we're a company at the moment that is helping people find their confidence and telling them that they can go and do good things once they can overcome their anxiety and confidence problems. So we run a workshop. We've invented a workshop where we teach people all about anxiety, what it is, and with better education of how the mind works and things like this, they can overcome their negative thoughts and learn how to block them out, so their confidence will increase. So that's what we've been doing in our communities here in Wales at the moment. We've been sitting down with lads and listening to them and also taking them seriously and believing in them, because what we find is there's a lot of people out there that have had lots of negative influence over them, over their lives. Like, for instance, if you went to a pub, they call it banter over here, they make fun of one another, but it really does translate to the heart. So they'll say things like, oh, you'll never get a job, or you're useless, you're this. But we don't teach that here at the HPP. We say, yes, you can get a job. Yes, you are worth something. And I believe personally that everybody has the right to good mental health and confidence, and that's what we're doing, is instilling confidence in people by controlling their anxiety. So that's who we are. We've got this workshop. It's called Understanding Anxiety, the Conscious and Unconscious Mind, and our aim is to deliver, you know, this workshop to people from all kinds of backgrounds. It's not limited to a certain class or anything like that. It is literally a workshop where I want to get people who've got disabilities, people who might work for the council, bin men, janitors, all kinds of people. We're not limited. We can take those people onto our workshop and teach them the things that will help their confidence. So that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I want to do. I want to equip people with greater mental health and confidence that will lead people to a better quality of life. So in a nutshell, that's what we're going to do, and that's our objective. So thank you to Basis for being able to talk about that, and yeah, we're looking forward to working with Safak in the future.
Yes, thank you very much, Dean. And I'm looking forward that he's invited me to one of his training sessions which we have, and then I'm going to go into it, and then we can see what Sarthak can do to help these people and you know, get what they want. So now thank you very much, Dean, to come on a Friday evening and spend a few time with us, because it's going to be pub time soon here in the UK. So anyway, thanks a lot, and I will see you soon. We'll have a meeting very, very soon next week, and then we can catch up with you. Okay, now we have our next guest. She's from Scotland, is Dr. Bhakti Majumdar. She is an elite from, she's not a medical doctor, she's an economist, and with the civil service from Scotland, and she's placed in Aberdeen. So Bhakti ji, welcome to the webinar for Sarthak UK, and she is part of the Sarthak UK team, and she works because she has got a differently abled son at home, so she exactly knows, and we are very thankful for Dr. Majumdar. Her origin is Bangladesh. She's not from India, and she has so thankful. Just a moment, and I'm so thankful, Dr. Bhakti, that she has donated £200 to the Sarthak UK, and we don't ask for direct donation. Whoever are willing, we are a new organization to start, so we need funds, but we don't ask anybody for funds. But thank you very much, Dr. Majumdar. And now can we have over to you so that you can explain us what exactly you're doing and how we are going to work with Sarthak.
Thank you so much, Devashishji, and thank you for, I would like to express my gratitude to Jitender ji, who incorporated me in the Sarthak as a panelist of this Sarthak Divisional Trust. Already Devashishji has told that I got a son who has autism and special needs problem. I am here and you can, I have a good experience about the disability issues and particularly mental health issues here. And from my perspective and whatever I have so far I have experienced, the differently able people have so much skill and so much talents and so much potentials amongst them that we need to explore those skills and talents to be incorporated in our society so that they can become assets and their families would be so much happy to see them to be involved in any corporate or any societal or economic sectors to contribute their specialized skills or abilities. Particularly, it is very important to explore and to provide some training to them and to identify the areas like demand-driven areas where we should be able to incorporate them to contribute their abilities according to the needs we have or their abilities they have. So we need to merge these two things to explore the demands and explore the skills they have and to merge those two things. But in this process, what I feel it is extremely important, the everybody's, particularly stakeholders, community leaders, their generosity, kindness to support the specialized or the special uh, abilities of this society. I particularly like I'm a basically I'm also sing, so I have some skill about the music. So I tried this to offer this joy to the people who have the special needs or who are suffering from mental anxiety or loneliness. I arranged some sessions for them, so they felt it very much helpful for their mental health. And also, I had visited USA last April May time, and also I went to a specialized school where there were like autistic children. I ran a session there like few days, and they enjoyed very much. And I found it was so much joy to be involved with them and to give this pleasure to them. It was extremely very good experience in my life, and I enjoyed it, and they also enjoyed it too much. And one of the girl was saying that I always try to do something, but I do not get any scope to do something. That is very interesting. That they have a very intention, they have very willingness to do something. That is very important for us to know as well. And it is very important for the community to recognize their skill. It is the most important part for us to recognize their skill. That why we are here to trying to establish this part that they have the abilities, they have the special skills, and even sometimes probably they have some very different skill that maybe some ordinary people does not have. That I have this kind of like experience I have in my life that I have noticed. And thank you so much again. And what I feel that it is very important for all of us to come forward and to be very generous and to offer whatever the abilities we have to support the specialized people in particular and various sectors of the economy and the society. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Bhakti Majumdar. Thank you for your time. And I know you are very busy, but still you came and joined us. And we are going to make some sort of thing. Sarthak will be visiting in Aberdeen in the months to come, and we will have some program together. We are trying to program and to give a musical event to the especially disabled people. So we are working on that. There are so many things to do, which everyone is busy, but we have so much less time. Okay, now our next guest is coming first time in the Sarthak is Dr. Arun Singh. Now, Dr. Arun Singh is a general practitioner, very senior doctor in Cardiff in UK, and from in the NHS, and he is also the secretary of an Indian charitable group called Bhakti Dham, and that is our local Durga Puja unit. He organizes everything of that, and that's how we came together. And now we have similar sort of a mindset to. So I would pass it on over. Can you unmute yourself, Arunji? And over to you. Let's hear something. What do you feel about the joy of giving?
Right. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. I know people on this webinar have joined from different time zone. So somewhere it is evening, somewhere it is afternoon. Anyway, I feel honored to be asked by Mr. Vijay Majumdarji to speak few words on this world stage. I first came to know about Sarthak when I saw Dr. Jitender Agarwal ji on a Indian television program called Kaun Banega Crorepati a few months ago. It was really inspiring to know about Dr. Agarwal's journey and how he turned an adversity into an opportunity, not for himself. since founded Education Trust about 14 years ago, with the aim of making and enabling them to become masters of their own destiny. After seeing that television program, though I admire Dr. Jitender Agarwal and his entire team,
We
Sound is
cannot
breaking, sir.
we
We
cannot
cannot
hear
hear.
you. I think there is some internet problem.
Participants switch off.
You're frozen, Dr. Arun. I think.
is it
I think
okay?
that, yeah. Now
Can
you're
you-
okay. Now you're okay. Yeah, go ahead, sir. We missed you in the last couple of lines. We couldn't hear.
Okay. Well, I was just saying that I first knew about Sarthak when I saw Dr. Agarwal on a television program called Kaun Banega Crorepati. And though I was so inspired by the work done by Dr. Agarwal and his team, it was wonderful. But since then, there was no further progress until I met Mr. Majumdar in our Durga Puja function locally in Cardiff, which was organized by our charity Bhakti Wells. During this meeting, Devasisji told me further about Sarthak and its activities in different areas of education, training, employment, health, etc. I became very impressed by the goals of Sarthak, and now I have decided to do my level best to enhance its goal in UK in association with Devasisji, who is the director of Sarthak UK. And to kickstart this noble work, I pledge to contribute a sum towards Sarthak and feel the joy of giving, and will be in touch with Devasisji about processing my donation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arun. It is overwhelmed. I'm so happy. You have been amazing. I see how you conducted the Durga Puja and everything there. It was amazing, and that is how the like-minded people, everything from there is free. People come here, have food, and it was an amazing thing. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to announce a donation. Thank you, both Abhari. So I'm very grateful
Thank
to
you.
you, and thank you very much. We'll keep in touch. I will keep in touch with you very soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. Our next speaker is already in the Sarthak this thing. They are also donated, and the husband wife is Srinivas Patnaik from Singapore. Are you ready, Srinivas?
Good evening, everybody.
Yes. Good evening. Good to you. I know it's late. It's nearly 11 o'clock in Singapore. So I'm trying to get the Singapore and the Far East people the first. But, as you know, as it goes, it takes time. And so we're already 10 minutes behind schedule. So now Srinivas is a junior again, a marine engineer, and he's a landmark leader. And he's got his own company. He's got various type of business. He's an entrepreneur. And if I start talking about him, it'll take away the whole show time. So, and he is what we are planning now. He is the backbone of Sarthak Singapore. We'll slowly in the near future, we're going to start Sarthak Singapore chapter, which he and all the people there are very keen to take over. So without delay, I would ask Srinivas just say your views and what you're doing at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Devashisda. Thank you, Dr. Jitender and Sarthak for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on the joy of giving. Yeah, as a while ago I heard Rajesh saying we can go on and on about this topic because it's joy and it's bliss to be in the, I said it cannot be explained in words. It cannot be explained in words, the joy of giving. In addition to being a marine engineer, a ship management business professional, at every moment, at every stage, we do get this chance to give, to be associated with the differently abled. I must thank my college for its location, probably, which was right in front of the Spastic Society, Eastern Spastic Society of India. Yeah. And also, not only that, we also were given the opportunity to spend time. I think twice a month or over a weekend, we used to go and spend a couple of hours with them. I'm a musician, and I also have been associated in Singapore with other few more group of friends, where we go and spend some, I can't explain those wonderful moments we spend with the homes which take care of the mentally debilitated. There are houses, the old age homes. It's always a joy to be there with them, spend time with them, sit with them. And it's also, it's not just, money that matters at times. It's the time that we spend with them, the joyful moments that you get by just looking into them, by just being with them for 5 minutes. I spent some time with a lady in one of the old age homes here for 10 minutes. And she just spoke, just speaking to her for 10 minutes moved me so much. With this current pandemic situation, we are not able to physically go and spend time with all of them. But since the things have opened up now, I'm really looking forward to go and spend some time. I must also thank Sarthak for allowing me the opportunity to interview a few of the candidates which I had requested a couple of months ago during the session, though we could not select any of them. But it was always, it was a pleasure to, at least be of some help to them. But what also I noticed was that they were all very gainfully employed already. And I must congratulate Sarthak that for giving all of them opportunities to be of some service at some place. I will continue to do what I am doing. And I did ask Devashishda, and maybe Dr. Agarwal can help me with this. I mean, there are disabilities like Dr. Agarwal, where you gotten into a situation where you were fully able and landed up in a situation. But there are some who are with right from the birth. Do we have any statistics where how many number of people who could have been gotten into disability later? Because recently, a couple of months ago, I started a company called Your Wellbeing Private Limited, a combination which will take care of the mental and social as well as the physical well-being. I will later on, probably through to Devashishda, will request you for that, because we have also an access to a stem cell supplement, which also would probably be able to revive a few of the degenerated organs or whatever is there. So I would once again keep this as short as possible, because I know there's a lot of other panels speakers here. The joy of giving, I cannot overemphasize. It's always less. I want to go on and on, but I will be available at any time for anything for Sarthak, if I can be of any help, because we are all caught up in our own regular works, that unless somebody just knocks on you, it doesn't sometimes wake us up. Thank you so much, Devashishda, for again reinforcing and reiterating our commitments here to Sarthak. We will continue to be of assistance in whichever format and empower. The joy of giving is something which is close to my heart. Thank you very much, Devashishda, and everybody else.
Thank you. He's a gem of a guy. I've worked with him professionally, in music, and everywhere. and we really gel very well. And I'm sure when we open the Sarthak unit in Singapore, he will be the main man to handle it, and he's totally capable of doing so. Thank you very much, Cinema. I know it is about 11:20 now in this thing, so I'm quickly calling our next speaker, who is the youngest UK Advisory Board member for Sarthak. Dr. Agarwal has nominated Kiran Sidhu. Can you unmute yourself, Kiran, please?
Hello.
Kiran Sidhu has been nominated as the UK Advisory Board member and work. She is based in Malaysia. So this is how the internet works. She's based in Malaysia, but still she's part of our team. And whatever things we try to do, she is. And she's also donated whatever she could in there. And I thank you so very much, Kiran, to be there at 11:30 in the night and joining us. So, and the main thing, with her permission, I am allowed to say that she is one of a differently abled person. She is one of the differently abled person, and that is how she's got the spirit. But I just salute her for the way she handles everything. So a little bit of joy of giving from you, Kiran. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for the stage tonight. Because giving and helping people is what everyone should do. And yes, being differently able doesn't mean you are less or I am less. I'm just perfect in the way I have been made. And so is every other person with disability or any way they are dysfunctional, because they have something to give. For example, for now, even though I'm tired, I'm so burnt out, but at the same time, I'm being myself, available here, because beside finance, beside ideas, beside advice, time is the greatest currency I can invest in Sarthak, in making a difference into everyone's life, that Sarthak has made a point and promised to themselves to sow the seed into their futures. So therefore, one thing I noticed in Sarthak is the attitude of giving is actually truly a blessing in return, not just for the person who is giving, but for the generations to come. And it is definitely an act that spreads happiness, not just to the person that we are doing the good onto, but to their families, their friends. The people around are getting awareness that, hey, these people are not less. Although there are some defects, but they are still pretty much a normal part and a very, very important part of their lives. Just like buying a second-hand car, we look at the car from the outside, so worn out, so this, so that. But when you take on the car to the workshop and everything is done, repaired, the engine is overhauled, it is as good as new, because it is given attention, it is given that repair service. So similarly, people with learning differences or people with disability, what they need is your hand, to hold their hand, to help them in the direction that they are able to walk. And of course, it is also an attitude of gratitude, because when we are grateful for things that we have, the joy of giving becomes not just double, but 10 times more. And it spills over, because when the cup is full of joy, it just spills to the others. It's just like people say that laughter is contagious, and so is joy is contagious. And overall, joy of giving it is not limited to be physically available. It is also means we are available for people in the form of lending our listening ear to them, just like how some of the panels have mentioned. They spoke to someone for 10 minutes, and giving that 10 minutes of our time has not just given a joy to them, but also you received something back. So it's a two-way thing. Although it wasn't in the currency, but it is more than that. And to me personally, joy of giving has been multiplied, God knows how many times, from the time I was diagnosed and up to the present. One thing I do is, in the giving, I also receive. Now you must be thinking that when you're giving, how do you receive? Well, I receive by following up. That, hey, how are you doing? Since I've given you my time and so forth, how are you doing? Now, sometimes I can fall back in terms of following up, but then that few seconds, just asking someone, how are you doing? It's all good. Did that strategy work for you? Do you need any more support, any more help? So that alone gives a smile, which I can't buy anywhere. And besides being a special needs teacher, I'm also a psychologist, currently studying for psychology course. So there are some of my students who have graduated high school and they've gone to universities. Now, just a testimony here. Sorry if I'm taking a little bit of extra time, but I think it's really important to mention, when we give our time, our effort, our energy to someone, they will definitely come back and tell you that, hey, thank you for sowing into my future. And that's what Sarthak did, and so many people have been doing. And thus, some of them, they are blessed with jobs for 22 years. They've been having their rice bowl. They don't have to depend on anyone. Perhaps they can take care of themselves and their families, their loved ones. So that's the joy that overspills everywhere. And with that, thank you for giving me this platform to speak tonight. I'm really grateful for it. Thank you. Back to you, Debashish.
Thank you. What a wonderful way to express. This is what exactly we do, because she knows exactly when we give some time. The person you're giving time, he or she is aware that you're giving them the time, and they are grateful. And that's what, as the joy of giving is saying, once you give, you get 100 times back, 100 folds back you get. That's how I seen in my life, whatever I tried to do a little bit, all came back, because in my children, I got from wonderful, very qualified and very, I have nothing to complain. Children, one of my son is a doctor, he's a vascular surgeon. And the other one is, so it all comes back to you. The more you give, the more you get. That's how what Dr. Agarwal says, Ishwar ka kripa. So that's all. Okay. Thank you very much, Kiran. Thank you so much for being there and being a person who has really suffered the disabilities and still going strong and teaching people. Amazing. I salute you. Thank you very much for joining. Our next, I'm sorry about the wait. Our next speaker is Indrani. Indrani, are you there?
Yeah. Hi,
Yes.
I'm there.
Indrani Prad. She is from Singapore, and she is also a like-minded people. We met through musical sessions, but suddenly these things always click, because out of 10 people, when this joy of giving and these sort of a thing clicks, so she has come out of her this thing and to help Sarthak. So I'm very, very pleased, and I'm very, very happy, Indrani, that you have shown your interest and towards working with us and helping Sarthak. And let us hear something from you. What do you think, and how these things came in your mind? Over to you, Indrani.
Hi. So I'm Indrani Barat. I'm from Singapore. So the joy of giving, it is something to be felt. I think I cannot express much, and I cannot do justice by expressing it in words. I'll still try. I came in touch with Debashish about Sarthak because back in India, I was part of a few NGOs where I think I wanted to the more you give, like we said earlier, the more you give, the more you receive. And that is not just the materialistic things that you receive. I think you receive in the form of happiness, in the form of peace. You learn to appreciate things you have. You learn not to take things for granted. And that is why I was a part of a few NGOs back in Calcutta, India, where it was not just the monetary aid. Of course, it was the financial aid that we provided, but not apart from that, we provided we wanted to spend time with them. We wanted to know about them, learn what they want and how they would like their lives to be. So for the less privileged children or the old age homes, so we used to be a part of it. Once I came to Singapore, because of the COVID situation and all, I couldn't be a part to physically go and to any of the organizations out here. But I still continued, for to donating whatever I could to some of the NGOs out here. So when I talked to Mr. Debashish Majumdar about, when he told me about Sarthak, I was very interested because I always wanted to be a part of this, because I want, even my daughter, she's 4 years old. So I would like my daughter to also learn all these things. And I would like the NGOs to have something where they also allow kids to be a part, like be a part of their. I mean, I take my daughter for spending her birthdays to the orphanages where she can be a part of, and she can spend time with the other children there, and she can learn what to do, and she can learn to be a better human being. I mean, and again, for it is very important for this, I think, for the future generations to have this and to learn the empathy, the compassion, which nowadays we lack. We are all in the rat race, and we lack a lot of empathy and compassion towards even for the normal people. And the joy of giving should not be restricted to people, I mean, who are underprivileged or differently able. I think it should be an everyday act for even the normal people out there. So I would definitely love to be a part of this, and I would love to be help myself learn a lot from this organization, and not just financially, but also being physically able to do something for the organization here, and which would rather, I don't know how much my help will help the organization to grow, but it will definitely help me to grow as a person. And lastly, thank you, Valsa, so much. You helped me reach to places where even my ability to speak couldn't. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Indrani. It was wonderful, and your thought and these things are so well matched with us. So we will welcome you in Sarthak, and welcome you to work whenever we have any sort of a thing. You can join us virtually into the programs, and if you go for any of these physical activities, we will surely enable all our people who are in Singapore, Malaysia, to join us wherever we go. Thank you very much for your time. I know it's quite late in Singapore and it's time to sleep. So thanks so much for joining us. Thank you very much. I don't see our next speaker is Meghna Tripathi. Meghna was here. Is he gone? Or is Meghna Tripathi here? Doesn't look like. The next speaker was Milind Kotle. Is Milind here? We don't see Milind also.
Oh, video off.
So no, we don't find Milind. Okay, so we go over to a long waiting version from our Rajesh Ranjan Singh from London. So Rajesh, it's your turn now. Sorry for the wait. You've been hearing the whole lot of speakers, and he's an amazing guy. He's again a marine engineer. And the common thing between us right from the beginning, we are from the same school and we are from the same college. We are both boys of small town boys of Asansol. So we are from the same school in St. Patrick's, Asansol. Then we came to know when we were in UK, maybe 10 years back. So, but it was amazing. He's a wonderful musician. He's really a professional rock star. and he is a mariner and he's into various business. So he'll tell you a little bit more. He's a landmark leader and he's going to be a forum leader soon. So wish you all the best, and over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Devashish. And definitely no need to be sorry. It's my pleasure and privilege to be a part of this discussion panel, and just listening to all of your wonderful shares. It's such a privilege to be with you, and thank you each and everyone for who you are and really what you've provided in the world. Makes a big difference. Okay, the world is turning around, and the way it is, the workability that's there in the world is because of people like you. Each one of you, everything that you do makes a difference. So I really want you to stay with that and own that, and really thank you for who you are. So just a little bit about myself. So I'm a marine engineer by profession, as Devashish was saying. I used to sail on oil tankers, and then I was accountable for a fleet of ships for BP here in London. And it's been an exciting career for me for 25 years, and now that's complete. I'm now an entrepreneur. I live in London, and I'm running a few businesses, mostly in real estate and music. And thanks to my participation in Landmark Forum, as Devashish was referring to, and we were discussing just before we started today, my life has been like a massive adventure, from being the frontman of one of the biggest heavy metal bands in India in the 90s, and now with my Bollywood rock band called Shunya, from sailing on the high seas to setting up and running several businesses, from an indie record label to running a pub, and now my properties business. It's like a big range of stuff that I've been doing, and it's just been amazing. However, through all of this adventure, what I did realize is that I love people. And it just melts my heart when I see people in their full power and full self-expression. And I'm a stand for a world that is without borders, and for people just free to be, living the life of their dreams, and doing that now, not one day, not someday, like right now. So coming back to the topic of the joy of giving, I had a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, but obviously we're stuck for time. So I was thinking, let me just share my own experience of the last few years of what's gone through, like my giving and my receiving. Just as I left BP to start off my own full entrepreneurial journey, I started off my business in January of 2019. March of 2019, COVID hit, boom, and it's in the world of, I had serviced accommodation, which is totally dependent on people traveling. So all of a sudden, within 3 months, it goes dead. You can't be open and there's no business happening. And I'm like, the first instinct of survival is fear. I go into like, oh, what's going to happen now? It's all doom and gloom. Everything is going to finish. And then I just took a step back. Okay, stop. I reverted back to my training. Like, let's look at what I'm alive right now. I have oxygen to breathe. I have food to eat. Okay, what can I provide to people rather than look at where is my food going to come from? So that's where I put myself in my thought process. What can I give? What do I have right now? Because the whole world is dealing with this crisis. How can I be of service? And the immediate thing, like, okay, I have this property portfolio. I have all these houses, which were supposed to have travelers and short-term people staying there. It's all empty now. What can I do with this? So I went to the council. I spoke to them, like, I have all of these properties. How can I be of service? And they said, oh, a lot of people are homeless and becoming homeless in this COVID because people are staying together. Families are falling apart. People are coming on the streets every day. So could you give your houses to house the homeless people? I said, yeah, there's no one there right now. Yes, go on, get people to come and stay there. And it was amazing. I just did that. And the bonus is that they paid me for it. I was not even expecting to get paid. It was just as a service. And they paid more than I was getting out of service accommodation in the market before we stopped. And it's incredible. That was not the purpose. And this just happens. And then just taking that one step forward, as we go on, I get invited to a meeting, which was a networking meeting for women, right? And somebody says, oh, I cannot go to that meeting. Can you go and substitute for me? I'm like, what am I going to do in a women's networking event? And she said, no, men can go. There will be a few men, but can you please go? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm a yes man. Like whatever comes my way, I'm like, yes, I'll do that. So just out of being a yes person, I went into that meeting. There was about 50 people in there. There were 5 men, and I was one of those 5. But a miracle happened when I went into a breakout room with one of the people. It was again somebody from the council who suggested that I can get some grants because I was in the hospitality, and there were some special hospitality grants which nobody knew about. And out of that one conversation, I ended up getting over 50,000 pounds in grants. And that is the 50,000 that has me sit here today and be speaking to you, because that lasted my company, all of the overheads that we were not able to sustain ourselves, it provided for all of that. And this is why I'm still here alive and speaking with you, not having gone into distress, none of that. And all of these things were never meant to happen. This just happens out of me being out there giving. Because who I am is I'm always there. What can I do? How can I be of service? How can I be of service? How can I be of service? Like in a 24-hour day, or, maybe less than 10% of my day goes in planning for my business growth. That my team does. They are looking after all that. All of my focus is how can I be of service to anyone? And that's pretty much it. And in the wake of that, my life just happens. And that's the personal share I wanted to bring here to the table. And I know a lot of us spoke about poor people being good givers and rich people not being good givers. I do think that we need to step away from stereotyping people, because there's a lot of rich people who do a lot of good work. Okay, but we want to choose and make those few ones who don't do it. But if you actually look at numbers, there will be as many poor people not doing charity as there will be good people or rich people not doing charity. But the thing is, if you are rich and if you are wealthy, you have much more resources to do good work. It's like if you look at Bill Gates Foundation and all, like just that one person doing that kind of work and making that dent in the world through his resources. There's a lot of wealthy people doing a lot of good work. So I just wanted to put that in, not to stereotype and perpetuate this myth that only poor people like to do charity. And and one more point I wanted to bring up is like, giving is really one of the best investments you can make towards achieving genuine happiness. But we all talk about, if you give, you receive. But we really have to be two-headed about this, because true giving comes from the heart with no expectation of reciprocation. It's like, we know the more you give, the more you receive and all of that. But if you give so that you receive, be it happiness or pleasure or fulfillment or anything, as long as we are giving so that we get something back, your fulfillment goes down the drain straight away. It loses all of its impact the moment you've got whatever little fulfillment that you did get. So, do not give because your motive is to receive a return. That would be a business transaction. Nothing wrong with business, but that's not giving. It is business. It's just a different realm of operation. And there's just 2 facts to understand about giving. Firstly, that giving and receiving are not linear in time. So the normal expectation is that I'll give and then I will receive. And this is absolutely not true. Sometimes you may receive even before you have given. How many of you have experienced that ever? Like you just receive something randomly. It's not that you did something yesterday and today, whoa, I got something, right? You just get. And likewise, you may give now and receive something months or even years later. It's not linear. And which brings me to the second point, is that giving and receiving transcends form. So the form in which you give may be totally different to the form in which you receive. It's just, they're not connected. It's almost like it's a bank account. We give into this account in the universe, and then the universe gives it back to you in some way, form, shape, or something. Maybe, you know, the cycle of karma, it could transcend a few different lives as well, if you go into the Hindu philosophy. So, I mean, just trying to collect my thoughts together. So what I'm saying is, giving is the basic nature of our existence. It's like everything we do can be seen through the lens of giving and receiving. Really, if you look at it, it's like even when we are doing nothing, right? Nothing. We are receiving air and oxygen from the universe. So if you reflect on this long enough, you will see that it is our giving that keeps the equilibrium of the universe in place. It's all the people giving in the universe. That's what keeps it turning, which is where I started this talk from. Giving and receiving, that's the fabric of our very existence. And indeed, the existence of this universe. So I will conclude with a final quote, is being of service fulfills the integrity of the human spirit. You know, like look at integrity. So we'll just have a quick look at integrity. So a wheel, okay, if a wheel is in integrity, which means all of its spokes are in place, its tire and tubes are well, you know, in good condition. When the wheel is in integrity, it is able to perform its function to the fullest. Any broken spoke or a puncture or anything like that will result in a diminishing of its performance. Like that, a chair in integrity with all its legs can perform its function to provide seating for you, right? So just carrying that on, the integrity of the human spirit is fulfilled through being of service. It's when our spirit is in 100% integrity, it comes with this experience that it comes with, which all of us have been talking all this afternoon. As we have seen in all these discussions, this is our true self-expression. It is who we are. Okay. So being of service fulfills the integrity of the human spirit. That's what I want to leave you with. And just on a side note, yeah, we're looking to employ somebody in the future. So when Srinivas was sharing, I had that scope that employ someone in India. So we definitely like to explore, you know, speaking to Sarthak about the possibilities there. And thank you very much for your listening and your generosity, you know, that you've shown towards everyone in the panel today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you. Wonderful. It was very, very, indeed, a good version and a good explanation of what life is, a typical landmark leader. So it was good to have you here. Thanks for your time. It's been quite late. And there's a last call for Meghna. I don't think so. Meghna and Milind are available here. So we would like Sunita Bahadur. Can you unmute yourself? She is one of our like-minded people, our seniors, Mrs. Sunita ji, if you would like to say and share something about.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Sunita Bahadur from Delhi. I've been into teaching for the last 36 years. And since I've always been dealing with the adolescents, these kind of things, the joy of giving or who needs what is what one needs to identify more. It is not always that you have to give monetary help, a kind word, an action. Just sit down and listen to these young fellows who may or may not be disabled, who may not be differently abled. They may be able-bodied also. But the only problem in this world today is that no one has time for anyone. And when I say that no one has time for anyone, I don't mean that parents are not providing or teachers are not. Everybody is providing, but there is no ear to listen. There's no one who can sit down and, as somebody had already mentioned, to spend 10 minutes talking to someone who's been sitting idle the whole day. And in the young children, old ones have their own problems, but in the younger crowd, the ones that I deal with, I find that it is this lack of someone who can spend time to them, someone they can talk to, that leads to a lot of loneliness and mental issues. And I have seen this, that young children who were, where the parents were paying a lot of attention till the time they were, say, in class 10 or so, the moment they come to class 11, 16, 17, generation gap sets in, parents have become obsolete, they can't understand us, we can't understand them, it's a generation apart. So the only person they can talk to is someone they can confide in, someone they know will not leak out their words. So I have always seen this, that a child who was decent in his education, who was decent in his grades, etc., suddenly he goes down in his performance. Reason? I'm feeling anxious. There, I can't study. I can't retain. Why? Not because you lack anything, but because I can't speak to anyone. I cannot confide my fears in anyone. And I feel that when I was teaching in school and in my interactions with all the children, I found that I only had to go to the class, just sort of, begin in a very inclusive fashion, but maintain an eye contact with a child who seemed distracted or who seemed that he wants to say something, but is reticent about it. So once the class would get over, you get a chance to speak to children. And if you, without making that person conscious, if you approach them and you just ask a random question, you never realize that how much they have, that is the moment you realize how much they've been wanting to confide in you. And that giving of time is the most precious gift that you can give to anybody. That time, so when the year is over and there's a farewell party and the children are on the brink of going out into the world, flying the nest, as we call it, there I used to feel that the children would sit in, throughout the year we've been chasing them and we've been good and bad and everything with them. But at the time when they're leaving school, they turn around and they say that, ma'am, what you had done for us is what we remember you later on for. They leave school, we also get on with the next batches, etc. But after 5 years, they'll come back to school or they'll connect with us on the Facebook or whatever. And if they can remember what I did for them 10 years after they leave school, I think I've done my duty. And that is the joy of giving, which is absolutely philanthropic. I don't expect anything except that smile in return. That yes, I have contributed just in the most minutest fashion in your life. So as somebody had already said, that joy or happiness is a state of mind. Okay, much like the attitude of gratitude, the joy of giving leads to a happier self. Okay, it is like the theory of karma. What you do will come back to you. But for me, it is most important that if you can spend time, don't invest in money if you can't afford it. But if you want to invest in time or action or just helping them out in their hour of need, by being that shoulder they can lean upon, by being that shoulder, they can shed their tears in full faith that they will not be betrayed. I think that will go a long way in solving half the world's problems. My feeling. The next thing that I would like to say is that the joy of giving is never, John Keats had said, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. What did he mean by that? He says, if you learn from nature, if you look at nature, it's giving us everything. Okay. It's giving us air. It's giving us the beauty. You are sad. You look at that beautiful flower that is in the garden. And that smile comes automatically on your face. Nature is not asking anything from us. So who are we to ask for anything in return? And this is what I feel, that we are all so caught up in our thought processes and in those parameters that we are unconsciously following, because we are not really living our life. We are living lives through somebody else. Parents' expectation, I have to do it, otherwise I'll, I'll be ashamed. I'll be the black sheep of the family. So when we are being forced to live all this and we never recognize ourselves, the problem begins. And this is where that joy of giving comes. You give time and you receive that confidence, you receive that trust, and that trust which shines in that person's eyes. I think nothing can measure up to that kind of a happiness. You have seen that little smile on a very anxious face. And that is what is joy of giving. When that smile comes, it is like that silver lining around the dark cloud. Ratan Tata's story I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it, that he's a very big businessman, extremely rich, extremely generous. But he was not very happy till a certain time when, at his friend's behest, he went to an orphanage where the differently abled children were, and especially those who could not walk. So the friend said that, well, you can afford it. Why don't you donate some wheelchairs over there? So the moment he donated the wheelchairs, the children were very happy, zooming around, etc. And one child caught hold of his hand and said, let me look at your face, because today I'm very happy. I can thank you. But when I meet you in heaven, I would like to recognize you and thank you again. And Ratan Tata says, nothing has given me more pleasure than this. I think I have exceeded my time and I can go on and on because this topic is very close to my heart. But I'll take your leave with a lot of thanks to everybody for giving me this platform. And I'll try, if required, I'll try and invest my time in Sarthak. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sunita ji. Thank you. Thank you. We are running a bit late.
The time limit.
No, it's okay. It was wonderful. You're talking the thoughts. We were all very, very legitimate thoughts, and we appreciate your time. So now, as anybody else has anything to say, so I would request Sandeep Bhargava ji, who's our director in Sarthak in Delhi, to close the event with a vote of thanks. And anybody who would like to donate something for Sarthak UK, please do contact me if you can. And so thank you very much. Over to you, Sandeep ji.
Thank you, Devashish, for hosting this, and wonderful participation across many countries and many people, and special interest coming in from Vijay ji, Srinivas ji, Arun ji. I can see Mr. Dean, Sujata, Kiran, and Indrani, and so many others who are there and who just passed away, because this is a lot of time up. And special thanks to Vikram Dutt ji for sparing his time. We have met a couple of times in Delhi on various occasions at various foundations. So the interest is generated quite a bit. I've been associated with Sarthak for the last 14 years since inception, and have been trying to be a constant support in the local and global operations of Sarthak and the other entity called National Able Olympics Association of India. So a lot of ideas get generated, and I'm sure with more time passing by, a lot of interest will be there to donate generously for the cause for which we are working in India. And the way Mr. Rajesh explained that he went into an event and there was a bumper harvest as far as business is concerned. So I believe that some of the percentage of that harvest should come to Sarthak right away as well. We can demand that at least with all humbleness from Mr. Rajesh to really contribute for this cause. So thank you, everybody. Late night for Singaporeans and Malaysians, and good evening on a Friday for the guys in Central Europe and UK, and late night in India as well. So thank you very much, and look forward to further interactions with most of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much, Sandeep ji, and thank you all for participating and staying so late. Sorry, we have gone lovely. It was very, very good to hear. It touched my heart, and it is really good. And thank you, Dean, to be all all along sitting and listening to this all. So we shared a joke with Dean. The Dean's surname is Coombs. And then he said, I have some Indian friends who calls me and said, can I talk to Mr. Kumbes? so, so that's what it is. So anyway, Dean, thanks very much. We will surely join you and everybody, all of them individually. Kiran, thank you so much. It's nearly midnight now. I'm so sorry for that. Bhakti ji, everybody who's involved, Vikram ji, and Srinivas, our home team, and Yogesh, Vijay ji, he's still there with us from Sunita ji, Indrani, all of them. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. And we will be again coming back after 2 months, sometime in December. I'll let you know.
Please don't forget Valsa. She has been doing a wonderful job.
Yes, that is all the final. The final team, I'm not yet finished because the final team is there with us behind our scene is Mansi from the Sarthak Delhi, Jasmine, who's done all the graphics and all the posters we did, Jasmine Kaur, and Valsa, who has done an amazing job for us. So these are all our, there's also another gentleman who's doing the Zoom and the internet. I don't know his name, but thank you very much. So there's a whole team. This is organized from Delhi, and it is all beyond office hours, and they're still awake and doing this. Thank you very much. Thank you all, and we will soon be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Devasiji.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.